Hello and welcome to the GMBN Tech Show. Today we've got new products from Push, Fulcrum, Race Face, Ceramic Speed and a nice gesture from 1UP, along with an exciting topic.
Yeah, our topic is, what about you want versus what about you need?
All that, as well as your comments and a quiz question.
Ooh, I love a quiz. Show topic today is the bike you want versus the bike you need. I mean, this could go very, very deep, this topic.
It could, couldn't it? Firstly, what is want?
Yeah, what's desire?
Yeah.
I feel like if we just stick to bikes, I think we can probably frame it in a bit of a sort of roundabout way. The industry sort of like we're part of the industry. I guess we're part of the problem.
Industry bigwig, you are.
More on the wig, less on the big. I guess there's a sort of like aspirational aspect to mountain biking. That's fantastic because it pulls people in. However, is there a kind of like lack of realism? A bit like automotive, sort of like car adverts where, you know, the roads are always empty, whether they be mountain passes or in the city. Is the bike industry a little bit guilty of always selling the long travel enduro bike to everybody, when if you live in Dovey or you live in, you know, South Wales or Whistler or insert your favourite gnarly riding spot here, is it guilty of kind of like pushing that one really specific location to everybody, whereby actually you might enjoy riding, you know, we're not saying about kind of geometry, because thankfully you can get really nice short travel bikes now with kind of like good, in rabbit is geometry. I mean, that's a whole separate topic, but you know, easy to handle, fun, interactive, riding, handling on the short travel bike. So are we at risk of kind of forcing everybody onto really long travel bikes as if they're in the North Shore when actually they're just kind of on the Bristol Shore?
Possibly to a certain extent. I think it's getting the balance right between having a bike that's going to help you get the most out of your abilities, while also having a bike that's going to allow you to grow and progress if you're so way inclined, you know. So you want it to be, you don't want a bike to be holding you back. Yeah. But bikes are pretty good now. Like I've been riding a 125mm bike basically for the last 3 months, and it's on the slacker side for that short, and you can put big tyres on it, but I know that I'm riding quite slowly because it's wet and muddy at the moment. So I'm not hitting everything really fast, and I don't need 170 on the back. Yeah. And it's actually allowing me to carry speed out of the corners, and I'm not sagging in the travel. Yeah. And okay, maybe a slacker head angle on all the steepest chutes would be good, but I just hang for the back, and it's actually letting me do more laps because it's easier to pedal. So
because
then
it's a bit of a lighter bike as well.
Yeah, and it locks out, for example. With you know, and then because I'm doing more, I'm better than I would be on a longer bike. Okay, you know, so it's kind of trying to figure out all those different aspects of actually what am I going to be riding, what am I actually aiming for? Yeah. And how's that fitting with the terrain that's actually near me? I think it's more that, there's the desire of having that bike and framing which can be motivating. Like if you've got this amazing aspiration and you go out on your downhill bike and you're riding anywhere, but you get to identify with that segment. Yeah, of course. Then that's something to learn from. But I guess it's that kind of that exact, as we've named the title, want to need. Like you want to be the downhill racer, but you're, you know, in Norfolk, say, where you've got Thetford, which has got technical stuff. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not slagging Norfolk off at all. But maybe you'd be better suited to some of the enduro bikes, and you'd be able to push yourself on that bike. So. Yeah. And I guess the flip side is also if you're aspiring to be a cross-country racer, or you're, you know, an older rider like myself, and you're kind of like, oh, I really want a cross-country bike, but you might get a little bit carried away. And some of like today's cross-country bikes are, whilst they're a bit slacker, if you're getting a top-tier one, they're not the most robust bikes because they're a cross-country race bike. They're designed for racing. So I guess it's that aspiration of kind of like, okay, you want to have the XC race bike or the, you know, really long travel bike, when where you are, actually for both poles, maybe the kind of modern short travel trail bike is what you need. Definitely. I guess with that as well, especially with the XC stuff, it can be very easy, and we all want, and you get sucked into wanting, you know, the lightest, the newest, the most blingy and shiny stuff. And once you go to a race and get your head kicked in by someone on a really old bike, and you realise that actually, like, everything at all tiers is working so well at the moment that what you need is probably a well looked after bike rather than the latest group set. Yeah. is my kind of opinion on that bit of it. And maybe, Owen will tell everyone that they need the latest suspension slippery stanchions, but maybe maybe getting your fork service instead. Especially if you ride somewhere that's wet and gritty in the winter, that is probably what you need to keep your bike running longer, and then you get to ride more, and then you'll probably have a better time.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's probably like, it's an open-ended question for this week's topic.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? What are your comments on like what you want versus what you need? Stick them in the comments below.
Absolutely.
We'll just carry on discussing it because I think it's almost bottomless, this one. We should probably ride bikes and then we can discuss.
Yeah, with some bottomless tokens.
Ooh.
On to the news topics.
Excellent. What exciting stuff we've got today.
We've got some new XC wheels from Fulcrum.
Ooh,
it's pretty exciting.
That is quite exciting. What are they?
The Red Zone Carbon Plus. So it's an update on the Red Zone Carbons.
Which only came out last year or so. Had a fun, wavy profile for the rim. Okay, what's the Plus got?
The Plus has got 60 fewer grams.
That's quite a lot, to be fair, because the carbon reds were already were already pretty light.
Yeah.
So how light are we going? Ooh, wow. Sub 1400.
Which is pretty light for an XC wheel set.
Yeah, I'm 29. I know numbers back in the day were similar, but wheels were very small.
That's true.
Almost like Blake size small, but yeah.
So they've developed them with the Buff Megamo team. They've come out of World Cup racing. I mean, Fulcrum have got a pretty storied history in mountain bike racing.
Yeah, they have.
In general.
Yeah.
Gunrita, Dalgy and Absalon, they've developed these wheels over the last few years. They're now with Buff Megamo team. They've got 4 fewer spokes, these wheels. And interestingly, I always like to look out for these wheels. They've got cup and cone bearings. So the new ones are now ceramic.
Ah, very nice. Okay.
Anyway, those wheels, they cost £1,969 for the XD version, or I think £1 under £2,000 for the 12-speed Shimano microspline. You can convert that to your appropriate currencies. They look very nice.
Gripping news. Just in, what do we have here?
What a segue from Owen. We have some Race Face Chester grips. These just come out from the Canadian brand.
These look awesome, to be fair. I note that they've got like a bit of a wedge shape, so they're skinnier on one end.
Yeah, this is the first time they've moved to a lock-on one as well, because I don't know if you remember the Chesters, it's this kind of cool, fun, free-ridey BMX style. So it was always a slip-on, so now they've got the first lock-on ones, but they have this like perforated core, so it should still feel like a slip-on grip. It's mostly rubber in there, but then you can undo the Allen bolt and slip them off, which is nice.
Which is really handy.
And they've also got, it's a bit of a, get them out of the packet, but there's a bit of a flanged outer, and then it flares out in the thumb as well to give a little bit of support. But the main selling point with these is they say they're 20A.
On the shore rating?
On the shore rating. Wow. On the shore A scale, 20 durometers.
Okay.
Which is pretty soft. If you think about the softest downhill tyres, the quoted numbers, it's usually about 40, isn't it?
Yeah. I think slow Rises were just below back in the day. It was like a seminal Maxxis tyre that I feel was amazing in wet and slippy conditions, but
for about a day.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
But these feel very lovely. And if any of you were lucky enough to get these from the vending machine on Mount Frome a couple of weeks ago, where it was giving out free grips, that was a cool little thing they did. Did you see that?
No, I missed that.
They put a thing out and they said, if you go down to the woods today, you can get a pair of grips out of the vending machine.
There you go.
And people did.
That is very good. Well done, Raceface. I've heard that ceramic speed bearings are exceptionally smooth, and they've got a new product out, the SRAM OS PW. I'm not sure what the PW means, but
pulley wheel.
Oh, right.
Oversized pulley wheel. It's a new cage of jockey wheels, and it's full of acronyms. This because they've got the ADR active debris removal, so it's a mud guard for your jockey wheels.
Does that mean they just don't have any holes?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. I thought it might be like a
high-tech. I mean, for like $700 or whatever, I want a little robotic hand to come out and bat the dirt away from my neck. But
yeah, that would be quite good. But lifetime warranty, that's good. And the ceramic speed bearings do roll quicker. I think we've all seen those amazing tests where people, knock a crankset and it's like it's got a motor in them. So, and next up, Push, another kind of like higher end brand.
Yeah.
But interestingly, so Push have got the SV8 shock. Yeah. My understanding is this is a slightly kind of like slightly lower spec, less adjustable, but key, a bit cheaper.
Yeah, than their pre-existing one, the 11.6, which has been around for a few years. And so the SV8, it's about half the price.
Oh, wow.
And it comes with one instead of two sort of externally adjustable damping tunes. So the thing with 11.6, it's got a switch on it. This doesn't have that, but it still has a lot of external engagement. You've got high and low speed compression damping and a low speed rebound adjuster.
Oh, wow. Right,
many 28 clicks of adjustment on them. And a hydraulic bottom out.
So you've still got an elastomer bottom out on the coil as well then, I guess. So that's where you've got your coil, and then on the shock shaft of a coil shock, you've got like a foam ring basically, but that's your ultimate bottom out, so you don't get the horrible metal on metal. Well, that's interesting in terms of you've got this adjustability on a cheaper shock. I mean, we're saying cheaper. Is it a lot cheaper?
It's about, I think it's about half the price of the other one. It's
so
still $865 US dollars.
That's not, I know that is very expensive, but when you're looking at some of the Fox X2s, it's not in a different field. It's in the same ballpark.
From quite a small manufacturer as well. So there's different things with economy of scale there. That's available in eyelet and trunnion mount.
Oh, interesting.
They say it's EMTB compatible.
Okay, that is useful. Yeah.
Yeah, and it comes in about 800 grams with their.
One Up have got a giveaway. Is this with us? Are we giving stuff away?
No, there's One Up are giving stuff. Well, they're not giving anything away. They're giving something back, which is really nice. So it's their 10-year anniversary. There's a small One Up. They started off 10 years ago with a 42-tooth sprocket.
I remember it. It was really innovative.
Amazing thing to put on a cassette, and you get more gears. And they decided to give back to their first original 42 customers, and they're trying to source them out and then give them the adjusted for inflation cost of that part back.
Wow. Are you one of the original One Up?
Yeah, in which case check your spam folder.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
I mean,
or get in touch with them, It'd be really interesting to know. Put in your comments below. Next, we're going to segue to comments from last week's video, and it's very easy to make comments. You can just type below, and then they'll magically appear. So please do comment. Ask us, GMBN, ask.
Hashtag Ask GMBN Tech.
Oh, thanks, God, I would have got lost. Okay, so the first one is, front derailleurs are like in-laws. Even when there's nothing wrong with them, they're still annoying. That sounds very harsh.
That is harsh,
yeah,
but
it is.
I kind of agree.
Ooh,
not on the in-laws.
There.
I mean, just more the front derailleurs thing. But
you said it. I'm not going there at all. I've got very nice Outlaws. They're great.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Next up is from Jan Henry Ode 2568. My trick for keeping the space between brake pads is use one of those ice cream flat wood sticks.
Yeah, good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah, the bigger ice creams. Some other brands are available, but the Magnum ones I think are very good.
Yeah, my budget doesn't stretch to them. I'm normally.
Oh, right. Well, Co-op do a similar one that's about the same size, so yeah. Chris rides a bicycle. Excellent name there, Chris. We like that one a lot. Little tip on flooring. This is hashtag shed news. I always cut the outside of a big cardboard box up on the floor below the work stand. When it gets too dirty and disgusting, I'm going to replace it. And the real floor never gets dirty. Great tip. Love that. Very good. Send your tips in below. That'd be brilliant. Thank you. Okay, bike caves. What have we got today?
But we just got one bike cave today, but it's pretty cool. I like this one a lot. This is from Jason in Bracknell. This is just really cool. I think they've done out this whole garage like that, so it's a separate block to his house. It means it had to have a standalone solar system for lighting.
Oh wow, very cool.
And that charges a small 12-volt battery on a control unit on the roof. That powers LED bulbs.
Wonderful shelving in there. That's very
It's great,
good.
isn't it? They've also got a load of scuba gear, I think. Because I was looking at these, golly, he's inflating some big tubeless tyres there. But
it could be. Maybe he's inflating tubeless tyres with them.
I don't think it's because he's also got his wetsuits hanging in this beautiful thing.
Right, okay.
But just all of the labelled boxes and everything else, and then for security, because it's separate for the house, they've got a bike shed
within it.
Within the
great
cave.
Idea.
Yeah, so they're going to be very dry.
Yeah, very good.
But no, thank you, Jason, for sending that in. That was a great little look around.
Quiz time!
Yeah.
This was from Anna talking about additive manufacturing, which is very interesting last week. And her quiz question was, what's the difference between thermoset and thermoplastics? A little bit different from additive manufacturing, but I guess 3D printers use it. So, yeah, we've got correct answers here from. Do you want to go through one?
Yeah.
I'll go through one. Perfect. Right. Okay.
We've got probably Mr. CS 007. Thank
probably
you.
related to James Bond.
Yeah. Or plus 4407 when he's in Europe.
Of course.
A thermoset moulded once and done. The thermoplastic can be melted after moulding and cured. Yes, correct.
Patrick Pacocora.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm butchering your name. Thermoset means once it's set, it's done. Thermoplastics can be reheated and reshaped.
Yeah, great. Also correct answers from Westland Core and Ed Karozna King. So well done to you four. You get pride points.
Excellent.
And
well
what is
done.
the quiz question? The quiz question for next week?
It
or
is.
This week now?
Yeah, this week now. Yeah. Which of the brands mentioned in this video, so that's today's tech show, has won a gold Olympic medal? Are we being specific in sport as well?
In mountain biking.
Okay, cool. Right. Well, there we go. Put your answers below.
We'll be looking out for those, and we'll be keeping an eye on the tech news for the next week to bring a roundup of that next week. Thank you for watching. Drop any feedback in the comments below. Drop us a like and subscribe if you want that in your feed. You want to boost getting the show up there. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week.